The need of survival makes you learn things very fast. So if I grab you today like you are there, I grab you like this and I drop you in the middle of Spain in the countryside, in 1 year you speak Spanish. The need of survival, it makes you learn. And very quick. It's two choices, or you learn or you go. It's no in between. So I choose to learn, I choose to stay. It will be very easy for me to say, okay, I quit, it's too difficult, I go home, bye-bye. But I will not be where I am today if I have to that.
Welcome to What's on Your Plate, a podcast of fascinating conversations with people in the food and beverage space. Today, my first guest is Chef Agustin Balbi, whose Spanish-Japanese cuisine earned him a Michelin star at Andō in Hong Kong within just 6 months of opening. But, as he tells us, what people don't see is the years of work that he's put in beforehand. His story starts in Argentina and leads us to many places, the US, Japan, and Hong Kong. But his story is anchored in grit, relentless work ethic, and leading with empathy. Let's get into it. Chef, I want to start off this conversation. I know we've already touched a little bit of what you've been up to, and the one thing I want to say is congratulations. I know you won a recent award with the Best Chef Awards, and you know, this is probably they say it's the biggest recognition for so many chefs. Like, I think 550 chefs were honored across 61 countries. And you got, the category about world-class expertise. And I've been obsessing and reading about your story. And you have been in a lot of different places, Japan, the US, and I think this is very fitting that you got this award. I want to ask you first, like, do you remember the first time you got an accolade and how that felt?
Yeah, of course. I think it was when I really started. We got the Young Chef of the Year in 2016. It was my first job as a executive chef or like a chef of a restaurant. And I was very, very happy. I felt that, okay, it's a prize because I come from Argentina. So it's a third world country. The word of being awarded by Michelin or something is very, very far from your reality. It's like almost impossible, or it was like 20 years ago. So for me, it's like dreaming super big. So I want to achieve something that nobody achieved from my, let's say, my neighborhood or my little town. It was almost impossible. You don't have the resources. You don't have, even if you have the resources, the restaurants in your area are not world class level. They're like just good restaurants, but okay kind of restaurant. So it was like almost dreaming impossible. So, and then when you receive something like that, right? Okay, it's not impossible. It's right. It's
Mm.
just it's how much you want it and how much frustration are you willing to go over.
And you have gone through a lot. I think we'll dig a little into this because I am particularly curious about that moment you had in Japan, but we'll get there. I was just first I want to go back to like what was your first job? I read that you were riding a bicycle for a restaurant, doing dishwashing. Let's go a little back to that young man. I mean, you still look young, but
Yeah,
let's
yes,
go
yes, still
go
young.
back to your
Was
first
very
job.
almost like a kid. Yeah, I was what 50, 14 years, 50 years old, very, 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 very young. And then it was a Saturday that in Argentina in the summer, usually people go to the beach for holidays. The beach is around like what 400 to 500 kilometers away, so it's not close. It's like people go there for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And that that summer we didn't go because my dad had to work, or I don't remember why. So all my friends were there, so I was at home only doing nothing. Too much energy, 40 years old, and my mom was kind of getting tired of me and said, "Hey, across the street they're looking for people. Why you don't go there and stop boring me?" And like, okay, whatever, I go. So I went and I started doing deliveries. So I was the guy who goes with the bicycle delivering food. And then one day somebody missed from the kitchen, and I saw it. And the moment I stepped in, I fell in love. I fell in love of this idea of traveling the world, knowing different cultures with your profession. For me, it was a very romantic idea of traveling all around the world, knowing different people, languages, cultures, because initially I wanted to study to be a veterinarian. I love animals, so I
Mm.
wanted to. And then I say no, this is mine, and I went in, and here I am today. I never step out. So it's the only job, the only thing I did since
Yeah.
40 years old until today.
So, how did you go from that young boy riding a bicycle to today? I guess we can walk through like when you had that light bulb moment and be like, I want to do this. What was the next step? Because most people have a dream, right? But they never execute that dream that they want. What
I
did you
think
take?
the
What did you do?
I think that I'm a very when I something set up in my head, I will do it. So I will not stop. I didn't care what my mom, my grandma, what everybody think. I don't care. I just want to do it, and I will want to become the best of it. And it's kind of the how you go out. Doesn't matter what you do in life. You just try to be the best. Even if you, I don't know, you clean the streets. Your job is cleaning the street. Make sure you are the best cleaner. If you whatever, that's the mentality we grow up with. And then so I went from there. So before I was 14, 15, so I was still in high school. I didn't so I love it so much because it was supposed to be for the summer. Only for the summer and then go back to normal life. But I really like it so much that I begged my mom to let me go after school. So I will come back from school, I will do my homework and I will go to a restaurant for the night shift. Because the restaurant was across the street from my house, just like walking 3 minutes. So it's not like I have to travel or anything. So I will do that. So I will come back from work, from school, do the homework, have some sort of snack in the afternoon, and go straight to a restaurant to prepare for dinner service. And I really wanted to do it. I didn't care about the money. I didn't care how much I get. I don't. This is not my worry. My worry is about how much can I learn, how much can I become better at this. And then, uh, and then after that, I went to culinary school. But when I went to culinary school, I already have like 4 years of experience in restaurant. So of course, it's a difference. It's a difference from how you hold your knife, how you the practice because this is a it's a craft. It's a craft. It's not a profession. It's a craft. It's like being a shoemaker or being I don't know a hairdresser. The only way you become better is practicing. Practice will make because it's something that you do with your hands. It's not like it's a theory thing that you study or you are a lawyer. I mean, I get when you're a lawyer, I think it's still practice, but it's a different kind of practice because this is something that you need to make. So more time you spend making it, better you will come at it. This is it's no secret. So I said, how much? So I went there for school. The school was already 4 years old. Of course, the teacher see something. Okay, this period is what's happening. Of course, I was flying. I was cutting like a rumba, like a pro, and the other kids don't know how to hold a knife. So of course, the difference. So they saw I was very passionate about it. So they sent me to US. So they sent me to US, and I start entering the Michelin star world of restaurant because back in Argentina, this Michelin star award was only an idea. So I don't know. I never eaten one. I never see one. I never only see in magazines or in the internet. So it was not something real in my world. So then I got there and I got the first experience in this type of restaurant. I was like, wow, this is I want to do this. I want to become one day. I want to become a chef like this.
I know that you were sent to the US also, but one thing during culinary school, I know you had 2 days off and you would fly to different places also to get experience. Not many young people would do that. And I wanted to know, like, how did that idea come about? And that must have been also very expensive because going into culinary school is expensive. Traveling to work for free is also expensive. Yeah, just walk me through that time in
So
your life.
it's not that I come from a wealthy family or something. Not
Yeah.
nothing at all. I was like a normal kid with a very low income family. It's not like I was some kind of privilege because I wanna keep that clear from all the maybe students that will watch this or something. It's not like you need to be rich to do this. That doesn't work like that. It's just how much you want it. So for me, I was sent to the first city I was sent was New Orleans. So in New Orleans at that time, and I think today, was no Michelin guide. Michelin was not present in that city. So for me, in order to get experience, I had to travel. So I got I got at the age I was what? I was 21 or something. Got the position of sous chef of this restaurant. Was the one of the best fine dining restaurants in the city. It was called Estela. Was very the chef was very very famous in the US and has many friends like Thomas Keller, like many friends. So I said, hey, I want to learn. I want to experience because it will benefit for me, but it will be benefit for you as a restaurant because I will be learning something somewhere else. So like, yeah, okay, okay. So I will do my day off. I have 2 days off. So all the money at that time that you get paid, you don't use anything. You don't have kids, you don't have family, you are by yourself. So I just spend money in food and rent, and the rest I keep it to myself. So I was able to use this into how's it, my formation as a professional. So I said, okay, and I saw that as an investment. I said, okay, I will travel from New Orleans to New York 2 days. I will work 2 days in this restaurant. I will come back, and I will do that once a month. I will go to different restaurants and try to do like a scratch, but spend time there, see how people think, see how they treat the the product, see how they try to understand the world. And I did that for 3 years.
Mm. Chef, can you explain what a stage is on your words? Because I know it's like basically like an internship, right? For people that maybe are not familiar with that term, what does it mean to be a stage?
So some restaurants they will offer to students, culinary students, or people who wants to learn that have a certain level to spend certain time in a restaurant for free. So you don't get paid, but you get paid by knowledge.
Hmm.
So the payment is like you get to learn from us, and for us you work
Hmm.
basically. Yeah, and I can tell you today is one of the best thing I did. So I didn't get money on that time or moment, but how it translates today is today I am what I am is because of this. So if you see in the timeline of investments, is one of the best thing I did.
Yeah. And how do you get one? Do you just go? Because when I was young and I was studying in Melbourne, and what I would do is I would walk across like a street of amazing restaurants and cafes, and I would give my CV. And some people, they just literally throw it in the bin, and some would, they would be shocked that you're actually brave enough. But nowadays in culinary, how do you get a placement like this?
It's different ways. One is through the school.
Hmm.
Always the school has some sort of that is one of the benefits of studying in a culinary school that they have some certain contacts that you can take advantage of. So I think one from the school is one of the easiest way. The school will contact for you, and I have this kind of partnership sometimes with some restaurants. And other one is just send an email. You go to their website and you see contact, and you send an email and say, "Hey, here's my CV. I wanna learn from you." And 95% of the ways they will not even reply to you or they will reject, but maybe we will have a chance of one saying, okay, come. And then there's your chance. So
Hmm.
always be ready for the opportunity. And well,
Yeah.
but important is for me to, you choose not just send to any restaurant, anywhere, just
Yeah.
you choose to say, oh, I like this chef or I like this philosophy. So I want to learn from this chef. So you send the ones you're interested. If you
Yeah.
just send to anyone, you're just wasting time.
Hmm. You have received a lot of awards, amazing stuff, but I always love talking to people about their failures. And do you have a favorite failure that you've had in your culinary journey? And what was it?
I think failure is part of the journey, So nobody will come out one day because today, of course, many kids or kids who wants to be chef, they see you today, say, "Wow, this guy amazing! Look, he has all this award." Yeah, but this is just the result. You don't see all the struggle that goes. So, for example, we opened Andō in 2020 July, and we got a Michelin star in in January. So only a few months after. So people say, wow, you got the stuff so fast. No, no, no. Yeah, fast because we opened, but I've been working 15 years very hard for this. So it's not only a few months, it's like 15 years it took me to get here. So it's failures is it's a part of the rest. We always have bad reviews, people who come and they don't like. For us, that's the failure. But sometimes it's just personal taste. You will have to know that people will not like, some people will not like what you do. Some people will say you are the disaster, or this restaurant is very like, it's part of the journey. It is what it is. So of course we work very hard for that not to happen, but you cannot control what people feel or taste this. So I think when I was young, I made many mistakes when you are like 14, 15, like, but it's good I make the mistakes there because it
Mm.
makes you learn a lot. I think from mistakes you learn much more than success. So when I was 17, 18, I did many, many mistakes, and then you learn. And then when you are already by your 20s, you already have that. You're like experienced cook.
Mm.
That would help you develop a lot
Yeah.
of stuff.
Do you have one that stands out though? Because, like, for example, I have a lot. I mean, all of us will
Ah,
have
yes, I
mistakes,
have,
right?
of course, of
Yeah.
course. That's right. When I was a kid, after I was what, maybe 17 or something, was a wedding
Mm.
at the restaurant, right? Like when I was working in Argentina, like a very small restaurant, and we didn't have enough food for the people. We did the wrong calculations. Oh, it was a disaster. I think I was like, I said, but that feeling, I'm a person that when I make a mistake once, I try to never repeat. So it really stuck with me. So since that day, I really learned the importance of management of quantity. That cooking is not just about cooking food. It's it's around many other things, and that was a good example,
Yeah.
a good
How,
lesson for me.
how did you get out of it? I mean, I'm sure when you realized that, oh, we don't have enough food, did you change up the portions? Did you find other supplies around the area?
Yeah,
What?
we did some things that you don't have to do, so don't learn about that.
Okay. What?
So we try to find we change the protein. We try to do some cutting portion. I was not very proud of it, but yeah, happened. Things that happened long time ago, and it was a very good lesson for me.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about your time in Japan because what made you decide to move there? I understand that you wanted to keep learning. What was that moment where you're like, I'm going to fly to Japan and spend some time there?
So in Argentina, we are many people has Argentina before a long time ago was a Spanish colony. So many of us has, and then was a big immigration that came to Argentina from Italy, mostly Italy and Spain. So most of us are half Spanish or have some sort of Spanish family member or Italian. So it's very easy for us to have a double nationality. Plus, we speak the same language. So every chef who study, every cook or everyone who wants to be a chef, like serious, before used to go to Spain. So everybody will go to Spain. So I didn't want to follow the same path as everyone else. I wanted to do something very different. And I want to learn how to cook seafood. In Argentina is the wrong place in the universe because it's all about meat. So I say, okay, if I want to learn this, I need to leave. And for me, are two countries who are very good at it, which is Spain and the other one is Japan. And I remember when I was working in US, when I did one of these internships, I saw a restaurant that was making a fusion between French and Japanese, and they use a lot of ingredients that I never seen in my life. Like for example, uni, like sea urchin, like a lot of variety of seaweed, a lot of variety of fish. It's like, wow, what is this? I never see in my life. So I said, okay, I will go to Japan. I will try to achieve the level of Michelin star without never touching Europe. I want to show people that, I mean, people, or my friends or whatever, that it's possible to achieve in another, with another journey. It's not it's the only journey going to, it's not the only one going to Europe. It's not the only way. But if you see today in all the Argentinian chefs with Michelin stars, there are maybe five, four of them are in Europe. I was the only one in Asia. So it's not a very common destination for Argentinian chef to go to Asia. Now, thanks God it's happening. So we have one more where Joaquin in Taiwan and Ancestral as well, Argentinian. So we create another path. It's like, hey, we can go from this way as well.
Um, I know that you didn't speak the language. I know that you had to get some books for children. What was that feeling when you
Ah,
couldn't? Yeah, like,
I wanted to cry every day. I wanted to, yeah,
that,
it was very
yeah.
difficult. In my ignorance, say, okay, I will get there. It's an island, so they must use English to communicate with the world.
Hmm.
Wrong, zero English. Where I went there was nobody speak English. I mean, was one or two person who do speak well, but not much. So I have to. It's you have no other choice but to learn. And I think it will surprise you. The need of survival makes you learn things very fast. So if I grab you today, like you are there, I grab you like this, and I drop you in the middle of Spain in the countryside. In 1 year, you speak Spanish. I swear. It's like the need of survival. It makes you learn, and very quick. It's two choices: or you learn or you go. It's no in between. So I choose to learn. I choose to stay. It will be have very easy for me to say, okay, I quit. It's too difficult. I go home. Bye bye. But I will not be where I am today if I have to that. So it was very difficult. Yes, I wanted to cry every day. Yes, it was horrible. But after you go to it, you start getting used to it. When you pass that phase of like struggling, you start getting used to it. You start to learn, and then communication little by little. People help you as well, and then in 1 year you already have the basis, and you're ready to go.
Mm. What was the most memorable place that you worked in Japan? I know you worked in a few places. What was one that really changed the way you approach food and the career of being a chef?
I think the experience I have the most impregnated in me, like stay with me, is that when I work at Ryugin. And Ryugin, I've been there as well. And it was wow, totally different from what I'm used to. I was used to Western kitchens with I don't know 300 people in the kitchen, and here was just only the people you need. It was a top quality, top way of cooking, and but in a Japanese way. But I have never been in a Japanese restaurant because it's modern, but it's a still kaiseki restaurant. So it's like wow, for me it changed a lot. So that experience stayed with for me in my career. Is a before and after. It marked me a lot. So we will spend a lot of hours there, and I was like, wow. I for me it was like yeah, before and
Yeah. And you mentioned Japanese way. What is the Japanese way? If for some people that don't know.
no, it's the way the kitchen is structured. The way this restaurant have, for example, the stations, how it was divided was totally different from a Western restaurant. Western restaurant usually you have the protein person, you have the saucier, the intermediate. It's like a garde-manger, the cold station, the pastry. Here was totally different. So it's one station will be in charge of two dishes, and they will do the dishes from beginning to end, even plating. In the Western kitchen, everybody will cook and pass to the chef, and the chef is the only one to plate. Here is every station, every chef will be in charge of finishing their own dish. You're responsible for this dish from zero to end, including plating. And the way it work is today would apply in my restaurant. It's the one I learned the most
Mm. That is
because it was amazing and because it was so different. So
mm,
today my kitchen is very small. Hong Kong, when you came to Andō, you saw it. Hong
yeah.
Kong space is luxury because it's very little space. So most of the kitchens are very small. And today I think my kitchen is able to run very smoothly because I was able to work in Japan. Japan, all kitchens as well are small but very practical, very use of every space, and this place make makes me learn the way I run my kitchen with.
Mm. I love the sense of accountability from doing the dish from the start to finish and really owning that and being responsible for that. And yeah, I saw that in your restaurant. Carlito, who was showing us the beverage pairing and even introducing sparkling tea, you could see that he really owned it. Like every person was very, because your awards or excellence or the standards are only going to be um, at this certain level if everyone is up. It's not just one person has a standard of this. Everyone has to be at that high standard.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another challenge. You, as a chef, you need to not only cook very well and have a very good palate, you need to motivate the team so the team want to reach that level. So because some days we are humans, and sometimes you are tired, sometimes you have a headache, sometimes you like team the same, they don't want. So it's how you push. So for example, I'm here almost every day. The only day I'm not here is on Sunday when they are closed. So the team see me, I'm here. I'm here every day. I taste every single sauce, every single dish that it comes out. So they know they cannot relax and say, "Oh, okay, it's going to go through." Oh, I didn't make it properly. Oh, okay, nobody will notice. No, because they know I will be there tasting it. I'm always there in the kitchen. I'm always making sure everything that we leave our restaurant is the way I want it.
Yeah. I saw that you do family meals. What are some other things that you do to build a good team?
I think for me, uh, I'm very proud to say here in Hong Kong is I don't know how it's over there, but here people change job a lot. So they will do 6 months and change. Here we have people for 7 years. Carlito be working for me for 8 years. My sous chef is 7 years. The youngest team in the kitchen is 2 years old. So they never change. And I think that for us is a big achievement because that will give consistency to your experience. Because I love when you go to restaurants and you can recognize faces. You say, oh, that for me is a sign it's a good restaurant. Doesn't matter the food. The food is another topic, but at least this restaurant managed well because people are able to stay here. So the way we do, I understood that people nowadays they value time more than money. So you can offer a raise of certain amount of money, or you can give a day off. People will take a day off. Mostly people will take the day off. They value time. So what I did is, okay, guys, you will have from now we have 3 days off. You will work 4 days. We trade. You have a Sunday that we close plus 2 days, and then you will. So of course, people love it. They're like, okay, yeah, but I was able to to find out because most restaurants what they do, okay, I give you more salary. Okay, I give you but people don't. I understood at least here. I don't know the markets here value more time than money. So it's like okay, you value more time, I give you more time, and then we have a very good atmosphere to work here. Nobody scream to anyone. Nobody fight with anyone. Nobody is able to or is allowed to shame anyone for a mistake. It's only to learn and teach them how to do. And then the ambience is very relaxed in the breaks or in the preparation time. Then service come and then we are all focused. But there's the switch that we're able to teach people that yeah, we're having a good time, but then when service comes, it's service and we need to provide it's our responsibility to give the guests the best we have. So there's no relaxing there. And then staff meals are very good. We have the team that are from everywhere. We have Korean, French, Spanish, Venezuela, Argentina, Japan, everywhere. So everyone does once a week, wherever the choice, they can do whatever they want for food for the team. So we eat very, very well. I think that, as silly as it sounds, it's a very important thing that you eat like very well.
It's definitely not silly because when I talk to students they enter the workplace, a lot of them move jobs because of a toxic work culture. And I think those are the basics, good meal, good rapport, time, having more time which is unheard of. 3 days off, 2 days off, very rare
Yeah,
in
no,
the
I
industry.
think I think when we work, I think how I said this industry changed a lot over the years. Before, I think I am the last generation. I am 36 years old. I think it's the last generation of like working like a slave kind of kitchen mindset. You work from morning to morning on the next day. You don't ask for day off. You shut up and work. I think that changed a lot. That changed a lot. Now people value time a lot. If you try to work always, you will standing alone in the kitchen by yourself. Nobody want to work with you. So you need to really change the way things are, the way we learn. The way we learn is very different from the way we do things today.
Yeah, I think you can tell that your team, the little things in a restaurant when you're looking for a toilet or when a staff member can see that you're looking for a toilet and then they help you. It's so small, but that tells me that you have a really good caring team. I want to talk a little bit about the business of restaurants because so many people have this dream of opening a restaurant and then it shuts after 3 months. You hear so many stories. Like that's why I wanted to do this because I write about restaurants and food businesses, but no one really talks about the back end. It's not like you're gonna say this restaurant shut after writing about it. And I I'm curious on how the opportunity came up with Andō. Like how did you open that restaurant and yeah, how was the process?
I think it's yeah, it's how to build a small fortune. You start with a big fortune, then you open a restaurant, and you end up with a small fortune. So it's a it's a business that has a lot of cost that is hidden that you don't know. If you don't know restaurants, you don't know about this until you open a restaurant, and suddenly you say, "Oh, I don't have more money. I will have to close. It's um, it's much more intricate than it looks, because from outside it looks, oh, okay, you should do good food. People come to eat. They're happy. They come back. Like, no, it's not like that. And the opportunity came because when the my partner Yen, the she has a group of restaurants, and she was a customer for one of my when I was working before. We align the way we feed. We think about food the same way. And I say, well, why we don't work together? And here we are. As simple as that. The advantage is that she knows a lot about restaurant because we've been doing this for a long time, and I know about restaurant because I've been doing this for a long time. So we all knew what to expect and how to tackle all the different challenges that we're going to have.
Hmm.
That were
Yen is the lead of Gia Group, right? Is that
so
who you're talking about? And what's the one thing you learned that surprised you about the business of restaurants working with Yen? Because I know she has a lot of different restaurants across Hong Kong, and working with a machine like that who knows the ins and outs, what's one thing that surprised you?
no, I think to be honest, it was no surprises. We've been before opening Andō, we've been working with this. More than half of my life is at the kitchen, so I know everything that's in or out. And then was no really like, oh, we didn't know about. It's all like very oil machine. Like, okay, this is going to happen this way. This is going to be like this, and I came with my knowledge. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this, and that's how it planned out, and that's just how we did it.
Mm. Yeah.
So it was from zero to now. It was everything as we planned it.
Yeah. Okay. Um, eh, Talking about a little bit of financials of restaurants, what do you think? How should young chefs who want to get into this business learn about it? Because some people will be like, okay, I want to focus on the food, I want to create good food, but then none of them understand the numbers behind it. What's your advice for them? So, like, let's say someone wants to open a bakery, they want to spend millions, and then you ask them, how much are you going to make a day? And the number is so low that it doesn't even make sense why you're going to spend so much money on opening a bakery.
I think that is one of the reasons why studying in school is very important. It's not as much as important as the cooking aspect, because, as we said before, you will learn it by doing. So, but learning about all this is the school give me culinary school give me a lot of advantages because I knew more stuff than just cooking. Cooking, yeah, you will learn by cooking. But all this kind of stuff that you mentioned is like, for example, for me, the two keys in a restaurant to succeed is the cost of people, rent, and food cost. If you can manage these three things, you will succeed. Instead of hiring 300 chefs, hire only enough what you need. And how much money are you going to pay them? That's very, very important, because sometimes if not, it will become a burden, become a big burden to you, and then you are not able to pay, and then you will be costing your rent. How much is your rent? Are you sure you can pay your rent? And imagine that your restaurant will not be full all the time. So when you do your numbers, don't do it with the full restaurant. Do it with a 50% capacity. And then if you are full, great. You can have the profit. But just imagine you'll be only full halfway and make the numbers working with that number. So if you're full, great. But if you still 50%, okay, you can survive. So things like this, I think, will be little tricks that will make young chefs, okay, I will survive. This is my food costs. And it will be the last thing we touch is the food cost. Because you want to give people quality. Some mistakes restaurant do is like you start with very high quality, and then it's like, okay, we cut cost from food. Okay, the people are not stupid. If you give it bad quality, they simply will not come back, and then your business will go down. It's as simple as that. So I'm talking about fine dining. I'm not talking about like casual. That's a different game that I never worked with, so I don't know. But here, well, we only give the best, and we will never. Oh, let's buy this type of caviar because it's cheaper. Ha, we make money. Like, this is like shooting yourself in the feet, in the foot. It's like, just don't do that. That's what my. You can cut in many other things that doesn't relate to compromise the quality you serve to your guests.
Yeah, I love that. People, rent, and food cost. If anyone listens to this, I mean, I'm going to be sending this to our students and our community. And that, to me, the three holy grail, really. If you can understand that and you understand the math around that, you'll be in a better, healthy position and you won't shut within the first year because it is so sad to see restaurants shut because they didn't study that. They didn't give the time and all they want to do is the idea of opening a
But
restaurant.
it's a combination. It's
Yeah,
knowing that and as well offering a good product.
of course, of
Because
course.
you will be surprised how many restaurants they have no idea about this, but they do a very, very good product and they still survive
Yeah.
just by luck because they do very good thing. And then, but if you are manage these two very well, like giving the best you can to the guests, because at the end of the day, these people have the choice to go to any restaurant. So they are spending their money that go working. They go, oh, I choose you and I want to give you my money to you. So the day you understand, the day the chefs or the kids understand this, that they have options, they have other options. They don't have to come to eat to you. So why they will go to you? What do you offer to them that is different from the other restaurant? Why they will stop going to the restaurant next door and comes to yours? Why? The day you realize this is the rest because restaurant, if you see the word restaurant, is to restore. You want to restore people feeling. So people are tired. People are, you want them to come to your restaurant and feel live. Oh, I'm happy for the 2 hours, 1 hour, half an hour, 3 hours they are in the restaurant. You only want them. You want them to think about now the restaurant. Forget about the problems in the office. Forget about the problems in whatever it may be. That's your job to restore their feelings. So if you manage to do that, people will not care about your cost. People will not care how much your stuff costs. People don't care about your rent. People don't care about this is your responsibility. And just make sure people are happy. And if you manage these two things, the success is the only way to happen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's I also want to ask you about the competition out there. There's so much of that competition. And I guess, how do you make sure that people keep coming back to your restaurants? Um, yeah, every day. Like in one street, you have restaurants, one after the other. Ha-
I think Hong Kong is a very tough market for that. So we have, I mean, I never believe in competition because
Mm,
competition for me, I don't know, football or basketball, you play against each other and one win and the other lose. For me, the best way to compete in a market is just focus on what you do.
mm,
Just focus inside your four walls. Don't care about anything what everybody does. You just care about you and do the best you can for your guests. Make sure and take it day by day. Today, we worry about today. Tomorrow, we worry about tomorrow. In terms of guest experience, all the people who come today might be one person or 20 people. We just want bad people, all of them. We try our best for them to leave the restaurant happy. If they leave happy, it's a chance they will talk to many people. Say, oh, you should go to this restaurant. So we focus on that. As simple as it get as it sounds, it's like not tricks or anything, but it's very difficult to do. Just
mm.
focus 100% every day on the people who are inside your four walls. That's it, and that you will be able to succeed.
Yeah, and I also personally like how you bring your own personal history to your restaurant. Like the dish that you served us, which is the Caldoso, that to me speaks a really strong soul that you're really focused on yourself, not on competition, not on copying what other people do. Because, for example, if they see matcha and that's doing well, people will do matcha on everything. And with you, it was really every dish that you had there was very unique to your team and what you have built. Can you talk a little bit about that dish? Because that dish is really something very heartwarming and something that you could finish. You want to finish slowly, but you also end up finishing it fast because it's that delicious.
Yeah. So the idea, I always been because I come from, like I say, in Argentina. Argentina is a very young country. We only have like 200 something years of history. So it's very young as a country when you compare to other countries. So when I was in Japan, I was very jealous in a good way of these families that do generations to generations. Or for example, it's a restaurant with like 5 generations, 6 generations. And wow, what a beautiful story. Born in a family that does something and you keep doing, and then your sons will keep doing it forever. And, it was for me it was very beautiful, and I was very I don't have that. It's like And they say, wait. Maybe I have some. My grandmother used to make this dish that we say Arroz Caldoso. She was from Spain. And like, this was taught by her mother. And the mother teach her how to do this. And she was doing it for me. And I'm a professional chef. So I will make it better. And I will keep it. And I will. So it's my own way of having the heritage, my own. And then at the same time, when you go to fine dining, sometimes all the dishes are small, you eat a little bit, and sometimes you don't feel like you really eat. And for me, it's important that you leave happy. So, I mean, for me, finishing the savory part of the menu with this dish is a way of like comforting. It's like way like so. I don't let the technique, how we do it, hide the purpose of happiness. We want to make people happy, and this I think this dish is succeed. And another aspect why it's very successful, I think when in COVID was a very how can we say very unpredictable time. People didn't know what's going to happen. So this dish, as silly as it sounds, it gives a lot of comfort. It gives you comfort in a time when you need comfort, when you don't know what can happen. Eating this like for one moment you forget about COVID, you forget about the world is like going crazy. You just enhancing this feeling of comfort. I think that combination of three things makes the dish very very well. And I mean, cooking for me has to be in the place where you are. So if it doesn't make sense, if you do cook, for example, in I was cooking with Chile in Manila. At that time in Manila was I don't know 35 degrees, was super hot, and I have a dish which is hot. But because I was there and it was hot, I changed it and I did it cold because
Okay.
it has to make sense.
Yeah.
Well, if you have 35 degrees and I give you a very hot dish, you will be sweating, having a very bad time. That is not the idea.
Yeah, for sure. And oh, I'm curious also, what is your comfort food, or do you have a comfort restaurant that you go to? I know you're in the restaurant every day and you work a lot. Uh, yeah, what does a chef eat outside of his own
What do I
restaurant?
eat? I love pizza. Pizza is I love. So every country I go, I eat pizza. So we do all the events. So for example, I went to Manila. I went to the Amano. The I
What do you
because we
have?
try pizza. We always try to go to. If we went to Japan with my team to do an event, we went
Oh,
to find the best pizza. We always because I love pizza. I love to eat pizza.
yeah.
Then other thing, I love noodles. I love noodles. It can be ramen, can be laksa, can be any kind of noodles. I really love. Yeah, I love everything.
Best pizza. I know this is hard. It's like choosing a favorite child, but what is your best pizza in the world that you've tried so far?
You mean as a restaurant or as a flavor?
Maybe restaurant. I think that would be so that people can try it and
Or difficult? I tried in Italy. One was very, very, very good. And I tried one in Japan. It's called Studio Tamaki. Wow, super good.
I've heard
Like
about
with a
that
wood
place.
wood fire oven. Wow, crazy.
Your eyes just light up. I've never seen anyone light up with the idea of pizza. You know when people really love it.
No,
Um,
I love this kind of food because what I do is not traditional food, right?
yeah.
What I do is not traditional. It's innovative, it's new. So
Hmm.
I have a deep respect for traditional stuff because it's not what I do. So when I go to Japan, I go to a very traditional kaiseki restaurant. They very different from what we do, but it gives me a lot of inspiration.
Yeah.
We're like very, very traditional. For example, Chele bring me in Philippines to a very, very traditional. I don't know the name. It's a very, very traditional restaurant close to Salvador Alfonso.
Okay.
It's a
I will
big
check.
place. The big place that you can see the sea.
Okay.
Very Filipino traditional. I really enjoy it. I say, wow, this is what I want to try.
Yeah. Okay. Last couple questions. I also asked our community for some questions, and I have one here. With no rules, what's the most unusual combination of ingredients you've put together?
I put together unusual. I have to think. We did what we do. We use a lot of meat in seafood dishes. We use a lot of like chorizo, ham, things to match with fish that usually is not very traditional. What's very very good is like this kind of meat like ham, like jamon iberico, for example, with king crab. It goes very very well because it's sweetness and saltiness matched together. Yeah, that would say that would be blue cheese with miso, for example. Very, very good combination. and things like
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Last couple questions before we wrap up. And I've honestly, I could talk to you all day, but I understand time is of the essence. Um, okay. One student asked, how do you adapt to a fast changing industry as a chef? There's so many things going on. It's overwhelming. What would you advise them to do?
Yeah, that is true. It's so many things today with Instagram. Everybody, I will say that the world, not only for cooking, it has memory lasts what the Instagram story lasts, 24 hours. Then next, what's next? That change. So it's many things that are trends, that happen, and I hate that. I hate trends. I never follow any trend. I think it's fashionable. So means it fashionable means that your restaurant will last as long as the fashion lasts, and then you will bye bye. So I think just focus on what you like to do. Try to find what you like to do, and try to give the unique voice and follow that. Doesn't matter. Times change. You need to adapt. You need to know what people like, but don't change your style or don't change because of people like. If not, you end up having no identity, and then people would not like it. Just try to find what you like, what you want to do, and try to adapt minimum of what the people. Because at the end of the day, we cook for people. So if people don't like what you do, then you bye bye. So try to give what people like, but in the way that you like as well. So at the end of the day, try to make you happy, because if you are not happy, you cannot make people happy. So if you suffer every day and you're like, oh, I have to do this, then it's no way you are going to be successful.
Yeah. Okay, this is one question for another student. Chefs often spend long hours in the kitchen and working. How do you balance home and work life? I know you met your wife in Japan. She was actually sharing the story, and she was, some people. I think it takes a certain woman to be a life partner to a chef. And yeah, how do you balance
It's
your?
it's very difficult, because when we do at this level of chefs, I think it's our life. You are
Mm,
thinking about food 24/7. You have no break. You have, because you love what you do. It's like, and when you love what you do, any kind, not only cooking, any job, it's very difficult to take your mind out of it, because it's you like what you do so much, and it's a challenge, because how you balance that's very difficult. I think my wife is the queen of the world, because so much patience, because I have to do this. Oh, I need to cook there. Or we need to go, I don't know where. Now I need to go to Bangkok. Okay, bye bye. So it's like, it's very, very challenging. So now my son plays football, and I love football. So he's in a role to be a professional. So I love it. So that's my cable to else, let's say. It helps me to, okay, I want to spend 2 or 3 days here, or I spend more time with family. And now the kids are growing, so now they understand. Before they were babies, so okay, they don't know if you are there or you're not there. They don't have this, but now they start to understand. So now I try to balance a bit more, and to balance is very important. You hire a very amazing team that has your values and your core. For me, I can do that because I have a team that been working with me for 7 years. So they know exactly what I want, exactly how it should be. They've been doing this for forever. So it's easier for me to step out a little bit and spend time with family. But if I don't have this team, it will be impossible.
Yeah, I know you bring your son to football practice or training, right?
Yeah, yes,
Every day. So this is like your non-negotiable.
correct. So
Yeah.
this is my time I spend with family on Sundays. I try, except from the charity, I switch off and I stay with them the whole day. In the break time, before I didn't do, but now in the break time, from my restaurant to my home is like 10 minutes by car. So in the break time, I go as soon as finish lunch. I go spend time with them at least 3 times or 4 times a week. We spend time together. So for me, it's very important. I think more older they get, will be more and more important.
Yeah. I mean, time is so
But
valuable.
But this I can do because I'm the chef. When I was a cook, I couldn't do that. When I cook, you work to work. But when you're a cook, you're a kid, so you don't have family, you don't have wife, you don't have nothing. You just uh, invest your time. As I always tell them, when the kids or my team is like, you say you're working, but what about if you change your world of working with training. You are training to become a chef. So more hours you spend, the better you will become. Forget about the word work and change it for train. Because what you do is training to become a chef. And more hours you spend, more better you will become in the future, as
Yeah.
long as you are focused. So that's our trick as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I love that switching from work to training and having that mindset. And I guess the last question I had is like, what would your advice be for young chefs that are getting into the workforce? You know, sometimes they're really pressured to make money and pay the bills. And, you know, after culinary school, it's so expensive. They're like, I want to make money back. But there's a long journey of to learn, right? And again, there's a lot of training that goes into it. What have you noticed with people applying for jobs in your restaurant? And what would you wish they would do instead if there's something you didn't like
I
that
think
you've seen?
I will recommend a few things. I mean, I will recommend only if you have the luxury to do. If you have bills to pay and then you just get a job and it's respectable anything because you need to pay for whatever you need to pay. And so but that's different because I've been in both. I've been in both sides.
Yeah.
So when you have to pay a bit, you just get the job you can and try to make the best out of it. Don't just, oh, I'll have the job just to pay bills. Just got it, go to work, you get the job, try to be the best at it. And believe it or not, when an owner, in my case, when I see a kid or a chef that work in my kitchen that is really passionate, that is very good at it, it's my only option is to move him out because I want him to stay, him or her, to stay with me. I don't want them to leave. So if you do that, you will become go up in the ladder very very easy. Most in days like today where people leave jobs like nothing. So if you're dedicated and other advices, don't quit. Don't quit at the first challenge you have. You know, kids today is like, oh, I have a challenge, oh, I quit, blah, blah. Then you will not achieve anything in life. You know, I receive a lot of CVs that the guy, this person worked like 2 months here, 3 months there, and like I don't even look at it because it's like these people is not reliable. What it means to me is like any challenge that is presented to this person, they will not able to overcome it. They will just quit. So work in a restaurant. When you're in a restaurant, okay, go there. Work there for 2 years at least. Just try to understand how things work, how the chef work, because one day you will be the chef. One day you will be the chef. And you will not want people to like, oh, okay, bye bye, like 2 months. Just give the chef a reliable, how to say, to be
Reliability.
you will be there. You will be there. So I can count with this person. She or he, I know he will be there. I know I can count on him or her. Be that person.
Yeah.
And again, just by doing that, you will, and then when you have the CV, you go to somewhere else and people will see, so, oh, okay, this person worked a certain amount of time at this restaurant. Okay, I will hire. And when you leave the restaurant, leave well. I have so many cases where people leave bad restaurants, live bad in a bad way. It doesn't work because at the end of the day, the people who will hire you will call the restaurant and say, hey, you know this person. And if you leave bad, they will not have very nice things to say about you. So be smart, leave the place well. Don't just rush and say, oh, I will leave now and leave the restaurant in a bad position. Haha, I'm so important. It doesn't work. Just be professional, work, try to always put in your shoes of the other person. And that will help you to understand what you should do. And be
Yeah.
professional. And then when people talk about you, we always talk about, okay, this person is professional. You never leave me hanging. I can always rely on them. And then that's the best advice, like say.
Yeah. I mean, I saw this process before that when you do interviews, you should interview the spouse, a friend, a stranger, someone they, because people, when they give references, they give the best references, right? But to really understand what people say about this person without sending you their best friend, I think says a lot and what people say
And
about you.
and other reality is that you will apply for job because as humans, we tend to idealize things. Say, oh, this restaurant is so good. And sometimes you go to work and it's not what you expect,
Yeah.
but you went there. Don't just quit. Just stay there. Learn it. You make the decision. Stay for a while. It's easier to leave. Always easy to leave. But what when you have a restaurant? Because when they have this mindset, it's as well a way of training you for when you are a chef. When you're a chef, you will have many setbacks. You will say, "Oh, my restaurant is the best restaurant. I'm so happy I'm doing this." And then one person will come and put a review. "Oh, this restaurant is garbage. It's the worst restaurant." What are you going to do? You're going to close the restaurant? You need to overcome challenges. You need to train yourself to overcome the problems that will happen. And if your training is like, okay, every challenge come like quick, how are you training to overcome it? So if you overcome this, then you are more mentally prepared when you are the owner of the chef of your place.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Chef. I think this has been such a fruitful, kind of like I always say when I have these conversations, it feels like someone threw an ice cold bucket at me, or whoever listens to this. That it's really a wake up call. It's really past what you see on Instagram and articles. It's really the behind the scenes of working in the food industry, and I've had the most interesting first guest, Chef Agustin, and I want to say thank you. Please do invite everyone to your restaurant and also connect with you. And yeah, anything that you want to
Yeah,
say.
anyone, just send me a message, or Instagram is the easiest way, or WhatsApp. I don't read emails, so if you send me an email, good luck. So yeah, anyone who is in Concord who want to have a stash, I have two staff from from Philippines,
Okay.
and yeah, we welcome everyone who wants to spend time with us, welcome, eat with us, welcome, anything. We are very open, and that's it. Yeah.
I recommend everyone to check out the restaurant. I will put the details on this podcast. And please, you will love that Arroz Caldoso dish and also the sparkling teas that I think are specific to your restaurant and is really magnificent. Like, that's the only word I would describe this dining space. You enter there and you feel like you're just going to be looked after. You feel like you're going to sit up a little straighter and just be a bit more graceful. Um,
Yeah, I think we try to. I think for me, my goal is to try to make this almost as like a museum, where you go and you enter in a state of art, but it's very difficult to achieve. So I think we didn't achieve that yet. So people like you love it and they think we do, but our mentality is we never there. We always need to push for more and be even better and better and better and better.
Yeah, that is the mindset of someone who excels because it's never, you must be a maximizer, someone who wants to go 1%, 10% up, up, up.
Yeah, but it's tough. It's tough. It's a very annoying. I can say I'm a very annoying person. Other, to my staff, say, "Oh, but it's perfect like this." No, no, cannot think like that.
Yeah.
We always can do something better. We always can improve something, improve here, improve there. Eh, But yeah, this is how I am, and I think that's why I think the difference between a good restaurant and an excellent restaurant is just the mindset of who's behind it. It's just how you think about things. If for you things are the same, okay, but if for you things are different, people see details. People love details. People at this type of restaurants it's very important to to be annoying and then try to change things that you don't want things to be. At the end of the day, it's a restaurant. So if the staff don't like or something go wrong, they just go and find another job, and then you are screwed. So it's your restaurant, and try to make things that you want to be in.
Mm. Thank you, Chef. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And I really enjoyed having you as my first guest. So
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thanks for being part of the first episode of What's on Your Plate. I am truly grateful that you listened to this one. Connect with me on Instagram if you have any feedback or you have some dream guests you'd like me to have on @Beatrindat_. I am a master cold email person, so I can probably get them. For episode takeaways and more notes, head to whatsonyourplate.beehive.com. I write everything there, by the way. So coming up in 2 weeks, we're heading to Jakarta through this podcast, not really physically, to meet the minds behind the restaurant August, Chef Hands and Booty. See you then. I can't wait for you to hear it.